Welcome to my budget update newsletter for 2017. This newsletter, I'll just give you a quick summary of what was delivered in the budget and what impacts it's going to have. It was generally seen as a tax and spend budget rather than trying to get savings through. One of those taxes that they've increased is the Medicare levy. It's called a levy, but it's really a tax. That's going to go up by 0.5% from 2% to 2.5% from financial year in 12 months' time, so the 2019 financial year. That's a tax on everyone. There's really not much we can do about that. That's being touted as being a way to pay for the National Disability Scheme, so it's fairly hard to argue against that one. On the good news front, pensioner concession cards are going to be reissued to up to 93,000 pensioners who lost their eligibility with the changes to the pension earlier this year. So that's nice. There'll be a few people that work with me that will get those cards back, and they'll be very welcome for those people. Another measure that they're introducing for some of the older people is to encourage downsizing of the family home. They're going to allow people over 65 to contribute up to $300,000 each to super from the sale of the family home if they're downsizing. So that goes part of the way to redressing some of the changes that they made to super to restrict the ability to get money into super. But it's only going to affect, I would assume, a small number of people, and it's a one-off thing. On the housing front, first home buyers have been given a slight benefit in that they're going to be allowed to put $30,000 into super for then to be drawn out to use for buying their first home. I'm not sure that this one will actually make much difference, and I'm not sure that many people will use it, but I guess they're trying things, so well done for that. On the good front, or other good news, is that superannuation has been left alone for a change. Normally every year they love to get in and tinker and change and do things with super, but the good news is that this year they've largely left it alone. There's really no major changes that we need to discuss. Moving on to financial markets, and since the last update, financial markets have actually been surprisingly good. I say surprisingly because there was a lot of concern around the Brexit issues last year. There was a lot of concern about Donald Trump becoming the US president. Those two issues have now really faded into history, and markets have actually risen very strongly since Trump was elected. Whether that stays that way or not, I guess time will tell. There are certainly some clouds on the horizon. You've got issues with North Korea. You've also got the French elections, which have just gone out or passed by, and generally relief on markets that the new president was elected and it wasn't a far-right candidate. So things are looking okay. Markets have run pretty well, though, over the last few years, and the last year in particular. So I think I'm a little cautious about the next 6 months and where things will go. On a housekeeping matter, my office has moved, so no longer in Concord. I've moved to Balmain, down the Rozelle end of Balmain, and I made sure that the office that I'm in has plenty of free parking, street parking, so that clients can come and park there, no problem. It's not that far from Concord, probably about 6 or 7 kilometres, so hopefully it's not too far to travel to visit. On to the end of the financial year, that's approaching now in about 6 or 7 weeks' time, so you may want to think a little bit about some tax planning for the end of the year, depending on your circumstances. Contributing money to super, incurring any expenses that you can claim this year are good ways to minimise your tax. Depending on your circumstances, that may not be the best thing for you. If in doubt, feel free to give me a call or arrange an appointment, and happy to chat and go through those circumstances with you. That's about it for this update, so I look forward to speaking to you in a few months' time.